After 5 different winners from the first 5 races, we are here at Talladega Super Speedway in Alabama for the 6th round of the USRA Cup Series. Good evening, everybody. My name is Sam Cooper Bennett, standing in for Frank Marchese here with this series. And joining me in the booth for this one is my good buddy, my good pal, my brother from another mother, Mr. Tony Trapasso. And Tony, you've been here from day one of the season. We're going to be speeding things up ever so slightly here tonight.
Yeah, and that's probably the easiest way to put it. Because even during practice, in the drafting, these guys were hitting north of 200 mile an hour, hauling it off into turn number 3. So speeds are going to be elevated. Temperature's probably going to be elevated before this one's over. And one thing that I don't think it's possible to elevate is the skill level of the drivers in this field tonight.
Yeah, and I've been keeping tabs on this league since its inception on this channel, and obviously I've been impressed by everything I've seen so far. We've had 5 different winners from the first 5 races. Going to be interested to see if anybody can get that elusive 6th win, get their first win in the 6th race of this season. Obviously, Diefler won last time out. We've had winners from Hoffman, and all sorts of people, but right now we're going to focus on the qualifying. Roy Lehman's currently sitting at the top of the pile.
As Eric Holly just ekes him out.
Yep, and there is Holly in the number 8 just finishing his qualifying run right there, as we're going to go to one of the other drivers on track. That's Rhett Tucker, just making his way into turn 3 right there. And before we carry on with the broadcast, we do have an announcement that more leagues on this channel will be on the iRacing Live portal coming up very soon. Tony, this is pretty exciting stuff, especially for the leagues up until now that haven't been on the iRacing Live portal, apart from the 2 that we've shown previously.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a huge step forward. With iRacing liking the product that we're putting out, liking the quality of product that the leagues that we've been airing as of late have been putting forward. The fact that they know that they can trust us to put forth a quality product, week in and week out with the quality of leagues, the quality of drivers in those leagues, and it's huge. I mean, dude, think about it. 3.5 years ago, if I would have told you we were going to be on the iRacing portal, you'd ask me how drunk I was.
Yeah, as qualifying is over already. We've only had 14 times, and it's going to be Daniel Dill taking the pole here at Talladega. Good time for him. So with that, let's go to the grid for this one, as we are almost set to go here for this one. So starting up on the front row here at Talladega for the Speed and Freaks 250 will be Daniel Dill. He'll be joined on the front row by Eric Holly. Row 2 will be Ryan Jones and Troy Torgerson. Row 3 will be Alex Huffman and Roy Lehmans. Row 4 will be Luke Lafaro and Clint Castleberry. Row 5 will be Thomas Ogle and Tommy Cannon. Row 6 will be Stephen Holmes and Justin Winters. Oh, 1 second. Row 7 will be... 1 second. Jordan Smith and Aaron Diefler. No. 1 second now. Sorry.
No, that's Mac McMeekin and Jeff Pogo. Pogo being the last car to actually post a time in qualifying.
Yeah.
Then we see Jeff Chandler and Evan Pienta in row 8. Row 9 is going to see Rhett Tucker and Randy Bechtel. Chris Brown and Chase Berry in row 10. Row 11 goes to Jeff Winter and Jordan Smith. Aaron Diefler and Zach Calloway in row 13. Row 14 brings us to Jonathan Leach and Jamie Leach. Jared Hagedorn and Dale Elan Jr. in row 15. Row 16 brings us to Jason Young and Larry Poling.
So apologies for the for the mix-up there, but we are ready to go racing once again. Just a few pointers before we get going right here for this race. Remember, Jeff Pogo coming up short last week at Darlington. Aaron Deflo won his first race of Season 5. Obviously, like I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Deflo becoming the 5th different winner in as many races this season. Even Evan Pienta has the points lead, but it's shrank from 11 to 4 as we are at the halfway point here. Track temperature at the moment is right now 108 degrees Fahrenheit. Ambient air temperature 81 degrees Fahrenheit. This is a pretty warm track here tonight here, Tony. It's gonna really separate the men from the boys.
Absolutely, and the thing that these guys are going to have to be mindful of, they're going to have a tailwind going down the back straightaway. And eight now it's up to 11 mile an hour gusting wind. You know, that's pretty big, especially with the size of the rear spoiler that they're on these cars tonight. They're going to be hauling the mail when they get to turn 3, so I'm expecting all hell to break loose very quickly if things do go wrong.
So we're looking at Daniel Dill in the number 8 Budweiser machine. Actually, no, that's in the Stag machine, sorry, the number 81. That's the Budweiser machine is actually Eric Holly to his outside, and we have Troy Torgerson and Ryan Jones on the second run. Alex Huffman and Roy Lehman's right there as well, and Huffman obviously a race winner already this season, and that Mustang with the ESPN logo, looking pretty smart, I will say.
Yeah, that'd be Ryan Jones. You know, he's always got some pretty race cars. But yeah, Battle of the Beer Wagons up on the front row right now is Stag on the inside, Budweiser on the high side. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, share, turn on bell notifications, and let us know who you're pulling for tonight in the chats.
Yep, as we go through 3 and 4, Tony, we know you like doing these things, so let's get going for round 6 of the season.
Dill and Hawley follow the Ford Mustang GT500 pace car, the official pace car of iRacing. They're bringing it out of turn number 4. And pace car going to make that left turn, that lazy left turn, to drop down onto the apron. Now, the green flag's not going to come out to the backside of the tri-oval portion. So a little bit different than its predecessor, Daytona. But Dill going to hang him down. The only thing that's left to do is pull the belts tight one more time, wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, and Christmas! It's time to get it on at Talladega.
Yeah, as they made their way.
As the field works... Go ahead.
No, carry on, you're fine.
I was going to say, as the field works its way out of the backside of the tri-oval, green flag comes out, Dill pulls the trigger, gets a little bit of separation between himself and Eric Jones, as Eric Hawley trying to get it wound up, and he's got a lot of help from Troy Torgerson on that high lane.
Yeah, coming flying through 1 and 2. It's Dill leading the way as they come out of turn 2 right now. Ryan Jones right behind him in the 91, the 25 right there behind them as well of Alex Huffman. Huffman looking to get his second race win of the season as they come flying down the backstretch. We've got a couple of people peeling off onto the apron just to fall to the back early on, trying to stay out of trouble as they make their way in towards turn 3. Dill going to hold on to lead, but Holly going to try and keep it wound up on the high side, being pushed by the 98 of Troy Torgerson right now as they come down towards the tri-oval for the first time here tonight.
Torgerson on the high side in the Budweiser 8. Holly on the outside in the Budweiser 8. Dill on the inside. Holly with a nose out front as they come to the stripe. Give that one to
Holly.
Eric Holly in the 8 as he immediately drops down to get to that low side. And that's going to let the air get to the front of the 98 of Torgerson as he now has help from Roy Lehman's in the 74.
That's true. As they come down the backstretch for the second time here tonight, we've got a bit of separation a bit further back, but everybody at the front really bunched together and really just trying to find their groove right now. We've got the 0-2 Clint Castleberry in the mix as well now. He's on that outside line behind Torgerson as they come through 3 and 4 once again. We've got a lot of separation, actually. 31 drivers starting this one here tonight. Looks like we've got a couple of people dropping back by quite some margin already here, Tony. People trying to play the strategy game early here tonight.
And when you come to a wild card track like Talladega, especially with all the points still on the line right now, you've got to be careful early on because unlike a lot of leagues we do broadcast, these guys don't have a quick repair. And they're only running 4 sets of tires tonight for the 100-lapper that they're putting up.
Absolutely, as Castleberry trying to make a lane for himself on that high side, being pushed by the 99 of... No, it's Rhett Tucker right behind him. I believe that is Rhett Tucker.
Rhett Tucker in the 00.
Yeah, as he's being pushed there on the high side. Did make it work, kind of. But
well, it's being scored as the 00, but it's actually the 99.
Yeah, I get that. It always confuses me when things like that happen. But anyway, lap 3 in the books. We're on lap 4 now, and we got Harley down on the bottom line now. He is taking over that lead, that main portion of the track there, the most important part of the track where you're on the inside line. If you can get enough momentum, you can pass on the outside. We've seen it many times on these super speedways, as we've got another one dropping down to the apron right there just to fall a bit further back as the leaders make their way into turn 3. We're still focused on Rhett Tucker right now, as Eric Holly still leading this piece, as he's now got in front of Daniel Dill, like I said, most importantly on that inside line, Tony.
Absolutely. Now, we've seen Dill and Holly work together in the past. The only thing is, Dill's got to be a little bit careful right now, because with the amount of tape that these guys are running, you're good for maybe a lap and a half, 2 laps if you're really brave, before you're going to see all sorts of red lines. As we've got 3 wide going through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, and that's Castleberry making a lane for himself once again on that high side, being pushed by Rhett Tucker once again, and it's going to be a pretty common thing we're going to see here on the Super Speedways. Obviously, we've seen in the past Super Speedway racing on this channel with the iRacing East series, obviously with the Online Sim Racing Association. So we're pretty much used to this type of thing, and yeah, we know exactly how these guys like to react when they're on these big tracks at the moment.
And I've been to Talladega entirely too many times this week.
Absolutely, but a new Super Speedway coming to the fore this past week with the iRacing Super Speedway. That's going to throw a few things in the books right there. Obviously, OSRA will be going there at some point this season, but it's going to be interesting. Throwing a third Super Speedway in there, that's going to change up the dynamic a little bit.
Especially with the way that track is run, too. It's the way it was described to me, it was as if Martinsville, Bristol, and Talladega had a bastard child.
It's like it's a super wide
what?
paperclip.
Yeah, exactly. That's, 3.5, 4 miles in length.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. But it's still early on. We've got 6 laps in the books. Eric Holly still in control of this one. Dill just kind of riding right now. That whole inside lane, just kind of feeling everything out, seeing what they've got. The boys in that second lane, though, they're starting to get a little chippy, trying to make their way forward. And, those guys are not known to hang back for too long.
Yeah, I'm noticing Roy Lehmans is in there again. He's on that high side pack as well. Third in line in the 74, and still gets it wrong, and it's going to be Jones in trouble as well, and we're going to have our first caution of the day. It's Castleberry involved too, and that just came out of pretty much nowhere there, Tony. Just the slightest of bumps there, and first caution out of the night.
It may have looked like the slightest of bumps, but with the new aero model that's on this car, the 91 just... The 81 was trying not to push in the corner with how loose these cars are going through the corners now. So he rolled out of it, wasn't able to get on the radio quick enough, and just got run flat over from behind by Ryan Jones.
Get another look at what happened here. As no, it's not going to show me. iRacing's not going to show me. So there we go. But yeah, that is how quickly things can turn around here at Talladega, though. Just the slightest of things. I think Clint Castleberry was the Daniel Dill, and looks like those were the only 2 that came off the worst in that one. Well, Dill got really sideways and somehow managed to save it, but Castleberry getting the worst of it.
Well, Dill got plowed from behind. Then the 02 of Castleberry got accordioned. The 98 got accordioned. The 74 has got a lot of nose damage. And then the 91 and the, it looks like 55. Yeah.
I think it was the 55, yeah, as we're looking at wholesale pit stops right now, as we're looking at Clint Castleberry, not an incredible amount of damage on the 0-2, so he might be able to carry on. If he gets any aero damage from that one, though, Tony, he is going to be in serious trouble if he wants to make his way back to the front.
Well, there's a lot of guys that are going to have to go to the baseball bats, and what I mean by that is the easiest way to roll a fender back out after you've been in an incident like that is to take a Little League baseball bat, stuff it in the tire well, and have the car roll forward, and you just use the bat to roll the fender back out so it's a nice round shape again, as opposed to being just a flat piece of sheet metal.
Absolutely. As we're looking at Eric Holly, Steve Holmes staying out, it seems, in the cause number 9. So we've got another battle of the beer wagons here. The Stag car dropping back slightly. He's all the way down in P23 right now. But we've got two different, another competitor come to the front here. Coors versus Budweiser this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's a different type of flavor, and I know back in the day it used to not be legal to have Coors, you know, this side of the Mississippi. So,
we got
yeah, definitely some different beers going on there.
We've got good old Jack there back in 4th place with Matt McMeekin rocking the Jack Daniels paint scheme. The 55, you already mentioned him right there, Zach Calloway in the Blue Ridge number 55 Mustang. He's currently sitting there in 3rd place. He said he was caught up in that. It doesn't look like he's got too much damage on his car, though.
We'll look at the right front fender.
Okay. I'm going to try and look for it.
Yeah, there's a wow in that right front fender of the 55.
I see the crinkle right there. It's the number 1 coming down pit road now. That's Chris Brown. Currently coming
As
in.
is the 9 of Holmes.
Yeah. Now, Ryan Jones, he was another one that got it bad in that wreck. And, yeah, you can see there's a bit of damage on that 91 ESPN machine. Now, hopefully that won't affect him too much, as we are almost pretty much ready to go back to green here, as we're looking on board with a lot of the drivers here. But good to be back in the booth after so long. It's going to be...
Good to have you back, my friend.
Yeah. It's been, what, over a month now?
Since you broadcast, yeah, but since you and I were broadcasting together, it's been a lot longer than that.
We're looking, what, 2 months, possibly?
Easily.
Yeah.
It was sometime over the summer. So, I will be right back. I just need to grab something from across the room.
Okay, no worries. As we are 1 to green right now, it's going to be Eric Holly with the button once we go back to green here, and it's going to be Zach Calloway joining him on the front row of the grid. Front row on the restart, sorry. Matt Mamikin in 3rd place. Tommy Cannon in P4. So good to see that number 47 up there. Jamie Leach in the number 13 is right there too on that 3rd row, with Jordan Smith right on his outside in the DuPont number 24, paying tribute to one Mr. Jeff Gordon right there. Troy Torgerson back there. Jeff Pogo in the number 4 is in that silver natural number 4. As they come through turns 3 and 4.
That's the color combination you're looking for. It was chrome.
Yeah, that's the one. Silver, chrome. Yeah, it's all the same.
Silver natural. Okay.
Silver natural. No, it's got natural on the car.
Oh, it's a Natty Light car.
Okay.
That's another beer wagon.
Larry Poling. I like that paint scheme. The army one. That's cool.
We got the Navy, the Army, the Rainbow Warriors. I'm stretching here. Sorry.
I know. Anyway, they want Logan Dick Wireless send in a super chat there. Thank you very much. 199 super chat right there. Can we see a gyro cam going on board with the driver? We'll go with that in just a minute, but first let's get this restart underway as the pace car is off and they're making their way for the tri-oval. Eric Holly going to have the button right now as they come out of the tri-oval down towards the line. Green flag in the air. We are racing once again here at Talladega on lap 11 of 100. And it's going to be Holly leading them down towards turn 1. And while we're at it, let's go on that gyro cam with Mr. Holly as they make their way towards turn 2 there, Tony.
Actually, let's go on the board with Mac McMeekin in the 14 so that you can see what it looks like when the car in front of you is sitting at that angle too.
Yeah, as we're looking at it right now, just making his way down the backstretch right now as they come through towards turns 3 and 4. And yeah, it's pretty much in line with Harley right now as they come out of turn 4 and down towards the tri-oval to begin lap 12. Let's go with Jamie Leach right now in that 13, really making some headway now. He's up to P4 now, and he's right behind, he's actually right behind McMeekin, and has just put a pass on Zach Callaway, who's stuck on that outside line, not really making some headway right now.
Yeah, Callaway's going to need a lot of help from Tommy Cannon in the 47, and there's not a lot of love lost between those guys. You know, they'll work with each other if they have to, but if there's a choice, as the 24 of Smith brushes the wall going down the middle of the back straightaway, as they were trying to take it 3 wide, and it didn't quite work out the way they were hoping for.
3 wide, as that I believe is Clint Castleberry trying to make up for lost time here, making it 3 wide on Jordan Smith there, and is right behind the 48 of Jonathan Leach. And Leach, we all know him very well. He is one of our family members here at ESPN, and it's always nice to see one of our fellow producers out on track, right?
Yeah, it'd be even better if he'd run the paint scheme that I made for him.
Instead of the Red Bull one he's got?
I did a Ruby for him.
Ooh. Similar to the Ruby you did for me?
Very similar. We took a little more liberties with it, though.
Okay. Anyway, back to the racing as we've got Holly versus McMeekin, Budweiser versus Jack Daniels right now as they come out of turn 4. Yeah, I was right. See, you can tell I'm out of practice. I need more. I'm a bit rusty. As they come through the tri-oval there, a couple of people getting sideways there. That was Jamie Leach having a bit of a slide for life there, going for the tri-oval. And that is part of the new dynamic we're seeing with these new builds coming out. A lot of people really struggling as I believe they upgraded the tire model in this last build on the stock car. So really going to find it difficult to dial those tires in this time around.
Well, they updated the tire model, but they also updated the aero model on this car too. So you feel more buffeting, and it's very easy to get someone aero loose. You know, we used to hear that all the time back in the late 90s and early 2000s, and you could see it when somebody would get a run on somebody at a place like Daytona or Talladega, during, to a lesser extent, the mile and a half, like Charlotte or Atlanta. If you got to somebody's right rear quarter panel going through the corner, you could take all the air off their spoiler and around they'd go. You wouldn't touch them. It was just the aero coming off the car. And with the size of the rear spoiler that these cars are reliant on to slow them down here, it's very easy. And we've seen it already just in the handful of races since the new build that we've done here at Talladega. These guys are fighting loose conditions already by themselves. You get them in a pack, and good luck.
Yeah, speaking of in packs, they're not really in a pack right now. We got a breakaway at the front here from, I'd say, about 13 drivers right there. As we've got, I believe that is Ogle. No, it's not Ogle. It's Tommy Cannon at the back of that one, and the 47.
Yeah.
And then we've got Evan Pienta leading another pack right there in the Hot Wheels number 16 with Jordan Smith right behind him. I've just noticed there is a lot of front end damage on the front of that number 74 Toyota. Roy Lehman's.
He was in that outside lane when the caution came out, and he was one of the ones that got accordioned.
Yeah, and I'm surprised he's keeping it up there with that front end damage being as bad as it is, because that, yeah, there's not even a Toyota emblem on the front of that car anymore.
Well, running in the draft, it's not going to affect him too much. Now that he's the lead dog in that outside lane, yeah, you're going to see him fall to the back like a stone.
Yeah, as he's now got Clint Castleberry right behind him. Look how quickly he's made his way back up to the front again after getting the worst of that incident that brought out the caution here. He's already right onto the back of Lehman's. Rhett Tucker making his way forward as well. He is now in the lead of this race, so good to see him making his way forward in the 9900. That's what I'm going to call him for the rest of the race now, as he's got Zach Calloway right behind him in the 55. Calloway, you said, was involved in that incident as well. He's back to the front again. The only driver that hasn't made his way forward and is probably stuck near the back of the field is Daniel Dill, who is out of this race.
He is. Now, I am going to say this to all the teams that are running alcohol-related sponsorship. Stop giving free samples out to the tech officials when they hand you your transponder.
Hey,
that's how we have the situation that we have with the car that's leading.
Absolutely, as Rhett Tucker still leading this piece as they make the way towards turn 3. And you can see.
How about Evan Pienta right now?
Yeah, he's managed to catch he's done really well to close that gap and really bunch the pack up once again. I think as soon as he noticed that there was a bit of separation there, because it got up to about almost a second at one point, really put his head down and decided, yeah, I'm going to lead this thing and just get this pack back together. And he's done exactly that now. He's right on the back of Tommy Cannon right now, and looking to make even more headway as Jonathan Leach is up there as well, just knocking on the door of the top 10 right behind Torgerson.
And here comes Pogo trying to make a lane of his own, going through 1 and 2, trying to get some cool air to that to the front bumper of that Natty Ice number 4, as he's working with Pienta kinda. Now we've seen those guys work well together in the past, but you know it's still early, so you're trying to figure out who you can dance with right now, and who's basically just going to give you a knee to the mommy daddy button.
It's been a while since I've heard you say that. Now we're noticing. I'm starting to notice the problems for Roy Lehman's. He is really starting to struggle leading that outside line. And you were exactly right there, Tony. Leading that outside line now. He's really starting to struggle with that aero damage on the front. And now the 91 of Ryan Jones just looks like he's getting a bit frustrated being stuck behind that 74 right now.
And actually, it was Jones who Lehman ran into the back of under that last caution. So the fact that Jones even has a front end is nothing short of miraculous, because Jones actually got into the back of the 02. Luckily, he didn't pound the 02 as hard as Lehman's got into him. So you could see the damage on the back of the 91 and the damage on the front corresponding on the 74. As give another lap to Rhett Tucker. Yeah, they're 3 wide going through turn 1 as they're trying to get around the 74 of Lehman's. And everybody knows he's damaged and he's kind of holding up that outside lane. They're like, yeah, no, bud,
you're going in the sucker hole.
Yeah, as
wow, we've got Harley dropping back. We've got, it looks like Calloway dropping back as well. That's going to leave Tucker out in front still. Roy Lehman's has dropped back in behind Tucker right there, as now Ryan Jones leads that outside line, and Lehman's as he comes up a lane there, that almost gets into the side of Ryan Jones again. Now that would strike Lehman's off of Jones's Christmas card list completely right there, if that happened.
Absolutely. Lehman's able to get back in line on the low side, and you can tell he's struggling with the handling of that 74 right now. Something kind of knocked askew on the front end. I don't know why, but But yeah, he's definitely struggling. Able to kind of keep it wound up in traffic, but he's got to peak out because I guarantee you, with all that front end damage, he's gotten into the radiator. And he's got to be real mindful of his water temps right now.
And the outside line starting to falter once again. You can see Thomas Ogle right there, and it's the first time we've mentioned him here tonight, even though he's been up at the front for quite a while now. He's starting to get a bit frustrated behind the 91 of Ryan Jones now, as you see again, Lehman's just stepping out of line there, going through the corners, just struggling to keep that car. Probably struggling to keep it cool, as you've already mentioned. We've got Castleberry up there, we've got Leach up there, we've got Torgerson there, we've got the other Leach, Jamie Leach is back there in the 13. Callaway's back there, Pienta still knocking on the door of the top 10. He's managed to, like I said earlier, he managed to close that gap. Not really made much headway since.
And the thing is Pienta doesn't have really anybody to dance with right now in that outside lane. He's the last car in that little grouping, and they are punching a big hole, but I think he's kind of holding back because he sees what's going on in front of him. You know, and he sees that, you know, the first few rows are about as stable as my ex-girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of giving himself an out right now of, I don't want to be in the next one, because it's not when, it's not if, it's when.
As Roy Lehman's making a push for the lead now, got back right up in front of Ryan Jones, and that won't please the 91, as he thought he'd dispatched of the 74, but no, Lehman's is back there once again, leading that outside line, trying to push his way to the front, or hoping to get a push to the front, as he desperately wants to lead a lap here, but it's going to go to Rhett Tucker once again as they come across the line. Matt McMeekin still in that mix as well, in the number 14 Jack Daniels machine, as they come out of the tri-oval in towards turn 1. We are on lap 25 as we hit 1/4 distance.
3/1000ths of a second at the stripe for Rhett Tucker over Roy Lehman as they got it to the stripe. So Ryan Jones doing what he can. It's like, dude, get out of my way. And the only way to get him out of your way is to get him to the clear and have him drop down and slow that inside lane up so you can get a run on the outside lane.
Yeah, as Lehman's once again starting to hold up that outside lane. Jones did give him a decent push that last time around. Will he get that push again as they come out of turn 4? Not really going to have the same momentum here, as Lehman's still struggling to keep that car in a straight line here. And you might be right, though. He might have knocked the suspension out ever so slightly when he had that hit during the first caution.
It's this the safe bet. And because he can't hold a straight line, or he's trying to drive out his mirror like he's not supposed to when you're leading a line, you hold it straight and let everybody get to you. And he's given Jones the middle, and everybody's going with Jones. They're hanging Lehman's out to dry right now.
And they kind of had to in the end. I mean, there was only so long Lehman's was going to be able to lead that outside line, and there it goes. The three in front of him, that would be Torgerson, Ogle and Jones, moving their way forward. And now Jones has a chance to try and make up for kind of not really taking advantage of getting lead in the outside line last time. But look at that outside line. It's not really structured enough. Everybody else seems to be very much in single file on that bottom lane right now.
We got 26 in the books. Tucker making it work on that inside lane, as the 14 kind of playing duck and peek to try to get some cool air to his radiator. As, well, there goes Jones to the point. Whoa, hang on to her.
That was very sketchy.
Was a big moment.
Yeah. That was a very sketchy move, but he makes it work. Ryan Jones to the lead now as they come through the tri-oval to begin lap 28 of 100. And again, look at Rhett Tucker not giving this up at all, not giving an inch, not letting it get away, as he gets his big power move to the lead again as they gets the push from Ogle on the outside, and that will give Tucker the lead back, but he doesn't go down a lane. He stays in the middle. That's going to force Ogle to the outside and take a bunch of drivers with him. As now, finally Tucker goes to the inside, but Ogle going to have a big clearance out in front with Torgerson, and it's going to be Lehman's able to come down with him. A bit of a missed opportunity there for Rhett Tucker.
A big missed opportunity. If he had dropped down and picked up Jones like he should have, we probably wouldn't be having this. But because he was able to still give draft to Ogle like he was, that kind of hung Jones out to dry. As Jones working with Tucker right now, trying to get it pointed back towards the front, is give that last lap to Ogle in the 23.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen Jeremy Ogle at the front here. Thomas Ogle, sorry, it's Jeremy Ogle. I don't know. Anyways, we've got another...
You've got FIFA on the mind, my friend.
I know, right? As they come out of the turn 4 to end lap 29 and start lap 30. I told you I was rusty. As Rucker... see, I'm rusty! Rhett Tucker coming through the trial here, and he's going to lead another lap here as we've got one making a 3 wide there. That would be Clint Castleberry making a lane for himself on that high side as they come through 1 and 2. As yeah, it's getting a bit sketchy. They are, I will admit, and you're usually the first one to admit this, Tony, they're looking pretty chippy out there right now.
They're looking very chippy out there right now, especially at the front of this field. Now, back in the pack, they've kind of got it sorted out. They're running single file. From the 74 Lehman's back, the whole inside, everybody's down on that yellow line, kind of just riding. As I dare say, we're not that far away from green flag pit stops, being as they've only got a 70% fuel fill tonight.
Yeah, we're looking at Jared Hagedorn right there in the number 2. Currently sitting back in P15 right now, just running behind Jordan Smith right now. Jason Young a couple of spots up ahead in the 99, the actual 99, as they're going around Roy Lehman's, and Lehman's I think has finally given up the ghost. They're trying to jump at the front. That engine on that 74 must be absolutely molten lava right now, and that's probably why he's decided to drop to the back there.
Well, you can see everybody's kind of getting in line to really get ready for the green flag pit stops as
Elan's in.
Yeah, they're there's our first taker, yeah. But we're getting near that time, and expect everybody to take at least 2 tires. Which 2, I don't know, but you've got to know what your dancing partners are going to be doing. As it's a lap car that they are coming up on.
That Dale Eland, I think. Just come out of pit road in the P Charities number 6 Chevrolet.
Yeah, he had a throughput earlier, so yeah. That's a rough night for the 6.
Well, here comes the lead pack right now. They come out of turn 4, and just want to give a shout out to a couple of people in the chat right now. On YouTube, at least, we will pay attention to the Facebook chat very soon. But right now, we've got April Post and Sherry Stone in the live chat right now. They're both supporting Rhett Tucker. So Tucker got himself a bit of fan base right there as he's looking to please his fans right now. Roy Lehman's didn't take long to get back up there,
With drafting help, if somebody punch in the hole for, he's still got speed in that Aaron's Dream Machine 74, but he does not have the arrow to do it on his own.
No, he doesn't, but he's managed to get up. As now Ryan Jones going to bring it down to pit road. He's going to be the first taker into pit road. Now, will this work in his advantage? We've seen in the past early pit stops and single pit stops do work in favors, but on a super speedway, no help when you come out. It might not work with him right there in that number 91 ESPN machine.
Yeah, he's going to be screwed if nobody went with him, and it doesn't look like anybody did. So, he may possibly have just shot himself in the foot.
New names in the front here. Big push there for the 29. That is Randy Bechtel now leading this thing with the 41 of Aaron Diefler right behind him. They kind of came out of nowhere right there. They were mired back in the mid-pack and all of a sudden just got a monster run there. Bechtel and Diefler are going to lead this thing as we've got wholesale pit stops coming down right now, being led by Zach Calloway.
Absolutely. As you got Bechtel, Diefler, and Barry, the teammates running nose to tail right now. Those guys definitely know how to get it done. And then you've got a little bit of separation back to McMeekin in the 14 as it looked like he wanted to go, but it was just, there was no way he could have gotten it slowed down in time.
Yeah, absolutely no way you can drive backwards drive the wrong way on a track at this type of track anyway. So if he missed the pit road, he'd have to go around all the way around again. As Randy Bechtel, Aaron Diefler, and Chase Barry out of nowhere as well in third place as they come down towards pit road again. This is the second lot, and I believe this is the remainder of the drivers coming into pit road as the 41 of Diefler. Got to keep an eye on that one. He was very much struggling to try and get it woed down there.
Well, let me see what it looked like at the stretch for him.
He got it all wrong going into his pit stall, and now he's going to be having problems getting into it now. Too far left, and he's just going to have to... that's ruined his race there, right there, barring a caution.
He's going to be praying for one right now after after having a great run last week, and we've said it before, and I'll say it again, with the pit road speed limit only being 55 miles an hour, which he was just barely able to get it down to at the cone. When you're going 200 miles an hour hauling it off into turn number 3, when you try to get it down to 55, it feels like you can get out and walk faster.
Yeah, it's really, really horrible when things like that happen. Anyway, Alex Hoffman and Justin Winters are in pit road now, just coming in right there. As Randy Bechtel winning the overall race off pit road here. He leads this piece with Chase Barry and Matt McMeekin right behind him. I don't know what's changed in this race, but something has changed because the people that we saw at the front before, they've dropped back, and the people that we weren't even speaking about are now leading this thing. Randy Bechtel, like I said before, he's pretty much come out of nowhere here and is now leading this thing pretty comfortably now, as he's got about a second gap over Evan Piento, who we've already talked about tonight. Actually, the only other driver apart from Matt McMeekin that we've spoken a lot about tonight.
And it's not really surprising because Bechtel has been strong all season long. The entire Dryden team has been nothing short of turning into a super team. With Bechtel, Barry, and the 41 of Aaron
Diefler.
Thank you. Those guys have been turning into pretty much a super team and strong everywhere we've gone so far. The results haven't always shown it, but they've been towards the front, and we're just past a quarter way, and it's go time, and these guys are starting to stretch their legs. But bad news for them: Pienta has Jason Young, Jordan Smith, and Troy Torgerson in tow. And those guys are all single file, and they are starting to reel that front pack in.
Major penalty for Eric Holly. Led the early part of this race, and now suffering a massive time penalty there, and has only just come out of pit road. That's going to put him at least 2 laps down now. Big upset there for the number 8 Budweiser machine, but you know what? If you don't want to do the crime, don't want to do the time, don't do the crime, unfortunately.
Banged for speeding in and off. Got banged for speeding in, then had to come back in as he got popped for speeding off. Huge penalty and points implication for the 8 of Holly. And just like that, we've got some action going on back at the front of the field as Pienta has brought that second group back towards the front. And
that's the second time we've seen him do that tonight, as he goes into the high line. and just lets everybody by him. He seems to be like the locomotive leading the train, and then all of a sudden when he gets up to the pack, he just falls backwards again.
He's timing his runs. Evan Pienta is a very, very intelligent racer. He's timing his runs to see, okay, when do I need to be, where do I need to be, and when do I need to do it at the closing laps of this race?
Now, as we go back to the front here, Rhett Tucker is back up there again. He's not finished with these guys, as the Dryden team now gonna have the 00 to deal with Matt McMeekin right there. Troy Dorgerson has made his way back up to the top 5 as well as Zach Callaway, who's in P6. Jamie Leach back up there. Jason Young, that's the highest we've seen him all night tonight. He's currently sitting in P8 now, as I'm trying to figure out what's happened to Ryan Jones. And we said it might hurt him to have pit on his own, and it really did hurt him right there, Tony. All the way down in P23 now. Kind of made a bad call there.
It would have been great if at least one other person would have gone with him, but he called it too late for anybody to be able to react.
Yeah, and I'm guessing he's going to have a word with his crew chief about that one, as that's put him really down the order right now, as Rhett Tucker still favouring that outside line there, as he is literally the only driver on that outside line, as everybody else in that lead pack is on the bottom line.
Absolutely, and Larry Poling in danger of going another lap down after he got caught up in that first melee. That is the 69 Army car directly in front of your leader, Randy Bechtel.
Yeah, we're focusing him right now as he just crosses the line right there, and the leaders will be coming up right behind him very quickly. There they are. Through 1 and 2, and Rhett Tucker, and now I've just figured out why he hasn't come down onto the bottom lane right now. Rhett Tucker doesn't have any room to come down to the bottom lane right now, so, and yeah, I know for a fact he's not going to give that up so easily, as they're coming up and polling right now. And a couple of other drivers that are up on the high line, I'm noticing Clint Castleberry up there as well, with Thomas Ogle right behind him right there, and Jordan Smith, who was in the top 10 for a short period of time right there, but has fallen back again. He is just with them, and a big gap all the way back to Jonathan Leach there in P13, who's leading the rest of the drivers around here just coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, that's a huge gap. About 6 seconds between Ogle and Leach. Actually, a little over 6 seconds now, as Leach trying to lead that second group, and nobody seems to want to play nice back there.
As Jeff Pogo now leads that second pack as he drops down in front of Leach. The 52 of Justin Winters is right there as well. We've got a couple of people laps down right here. Aaron Diefler, lucky to not go a lap down. He is still on the lead lap, but the last driver on the lead lap. He's right behind Ryan Jones right now. Jared Hagedorn, Eric Holly, Larry Poling, Dale Eland, all in the race still, but laps down. Daniel Dill and Justin Wilson, both on the hauler, as we look at the leaders once again, and it's still Randy Bechtel leading them across the line as they make their way towards turn 1. We're on lap 44, very, very quickly approaching halfway here.
Yeah, these guys definitely know how to get it done on a super speedway. They know how to play nice. They've raced with each other long enough to kind of have an idea of, okay, this guy I don't want to be near, this guy I kind of do want to be near because we work well together. And you know who you can work with and who you can't work with, and there's a few new names to the league, like every league we broadcast, but there goes Rhett Tucker to the lead.
Yep. Once again, it's one of those deals where these guys know what they're doing and putting it on display week in and week out. The fact that we're working lap 45 already, not really a shocker. Yeah, and we've only had for those that are just joining us, we have only one caution to speak of so far tonight, and same with last night's race with Sim Racer's Edge. Some people find that be a good thing, some people find it to be a bad thing. It's It's what we call it over here. It's a bit like Marmite. Some people love it, some people hate it. So it's a British analogy. So anyway, Brett Tucker leading it.
I believe the Aussies refer to it as Vegemite.
Yeah, my sister-in-law got a bunch of that sent over from Australia recently. So, yeah. Anyway.
Now, I've never actually tasted cat poo, but that's the way it's been described to me. Whoa! Big move right there for Castleberry.
That was a big move as Castleberry tried to make a bit of an audacious move there. Didn't quite pay off for him as he's stuck on that outside line with Thomas Ogle right behind him. But that's what yeast extract is, just horrible. I don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks.
No. Anyway, we're on lap 47 of 100. Very quickly approaching halfway here. As you warned Frank last night. Getting the band back together is probably not the best idea. As
well,
yeah.
you know, Sam, you like beer. Here, this is what's left over in the vat after we've brewed beer. This is the solid leftovers.
Yeah.
Spread it on your toast. No.
Spam as well. That's an interesting one.
Spam, if prepared properly, is not bad.
Yeah, it's not. Just never been a fan of meat in a tin, you know.
Well, the thing is, if you slice it about the thickness of a decent hamburger and marinate the slice in some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce and throw that on the grill, it still tastes like Spam.
Yeah, it does.
But it's edible.
Yeah, it is.
It's edible at that point, you know, and
I'll tell you what is completely edible. This race in here tonight, fantastic performance from these guys here tonight as they on lap 48, and look at Castleberry trying to force a gap there on that outside line, just not really getting the push he needs from Thomas Ogle to force his way down there. And you got to think the 0-2 after what he's been through already tonight, just the frustration level's got to be creeping up in that 0-2 Mustang right now.
And we've seen it before. Ogle is not comfortable being a pusher. He's a much better push-E.
Yeah. I was showing that in the right now. Big blink by the 11
of Chase Berry.
Yeah. As connection issues have been a bit of a problem this past week since the new build came out. As even I'm suffering a couple of stuttering issues right now, but it is what it is. As we're coming up on more lap traffic right now, and that is the Milwaukee number 2 of Jared Hagedorn. Now, I thought he was a lap down, but it seems like he's only just going a lap down now, so not sure what happened to Hagedorn. Must have been a problem in pit road. It's got to have been, because that's probably what's put him so far back. He was in the mix before that green flag pit stop, but just like a few of the
speeding in.
Another one. So just like Holly and Poling and Diefler, just having massive problems in pit road. Chris Brown is another one that's had big problems in pit road. He's down in P24, and I believe he might be. No, he's not a lap down. He's only 3 seconds off the lead, though. He's probably sitting in P24 right now.
And that second group has caught the lead pack.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I thought the pack looked a bit bigger.
Just a little bit.
No sarcasm, I actually genuinely didn't. Wow, that really did pick up, didn't it? Wow. As we got 3 wide there. That is actually Eric Holly in the middle of that, but he is a lap down. Actually, I take that back. He's now 2 laps down, is Mr. Holly, after that massive double penalty he had during that last green flag pit stop. Big heartbreak for the number 8 there. Had such a brilliant start, but just all fell apart in just one fell swoop for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was one of the few that survived that opening volley in the caution. But since then, just has not had anybody to really dance with.
Yeah, and that double penalty really put pay to it there as they come out of the turn 4 down towards the line there. We are literally halfway now, actually less than halfway, as we start lap 52 of 100 here, and last pit stop was on lap 36. We're only about 15 laps away from the second round of green flag pit stops here. They're coming quicker, they're coming thick and fast here, Tony.
Yeah, you know, these guys are really picking it up and laying it down, which is something really refreshing to see. It's still a lot of racing left, and these guys know it. So it's not like they're trying to, you know, lead every lap or set the world on fire. They're just trying to see what they've got, see who they can work with, and the really smart ones are kind of hanging towards the back and trying to time their runs.
Brett Tucker's still leading this piece, though, doing ever so well to stay at the front. His teammate, Clint Castleberry, just not able to keep pace with him at the moment, as Bechdel's still right there. We've got Torgerson. Torgerson has just been there the whole time. Since the drop of the green flag, he's been right there in that top 10. Just not able to make that push forward in that number 98 machine. Is he another one of those drivers that's timing his run, or is that damage on the back of his car really preventing him from making those moves?
Part from column A, mostly from column B right now.
Yeah. Because that is a considerable amount of damage on the back end of that Navy machine.
And that's why there's a ton of damage on the front end of Roy Lehman's number 74, because if you look, those damaged spots coincide with each other.
Yeah, it's like putting two pieces of a jigsaw puzzle together, right?
Pretty much.
Another comment there on the live chat from David Burnett saying, get some Tucker to Rhett Tucker more of his fan base coming out of the woodwork here as this race continuing on. We're on lap 54 of this one. We are gonna take a quick break while they are running under caution. We'll be back in just a minute as we are past halfway. Do not go anywhere as we are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go anywhere. And we are back live here at Talladega. Green flag pit stops underway once again, as we got a bit of a problem there for, I believe that was Callaway getting a bit sideways going into the pit road. But green flag pit stops are underway once again. Matt McMeekin staying out through the pit stops right now as Randy Betdell taking over the lead. The driving team leading the way, but pit stops, as you can see, the times coming in on the bottom of your screen. Ogle is in, Rhett Tucker is in, Lehmans is in, and Callaway in as well, as we've already mentioned, as they come through 3 and 4. And let's see if they're going to bring it down now as well. They should do, technically, and they do. So next round of pit stops are underway right now, and who's going to come out the winner in this one? We've seen a couple of big hitters already make mistakes here tonight, Tony. This could catch a couple of more people out.
Green flag pit stops are one of the most difficult things to do in the iRacing server because the only way I could describe it is think about when you're driving your car in your highway, ladies and gentlemen, and you come into a city limits and the speed limit drops from 65 miles an hour down to 30 miles an hour, and it feels like you can get out and walk faster. Well, you know, if you're going a couple mile an hour over, usually they'll give it to you at the city speed, at the city limits. iRacing, not so lenient. So
yeah. As we're looking at Rhett Tucker right now, he's just made his pit stop. He's up to speed again, and he's already going to be passing quite a few drivers here. There goes Harley, who's 2 laps down, obviously. And is he going to use that momentum from making the first pit stop to get himself out in front of Bechdel? We'll find out right now as he comes out of turn 2. There's the 41 of Diefler, who made the mistake during his first round of green flag pit stops. But crucially, he's come out way, way behind Randy Bechdel, who's already up to speed, but crucially also no help behind him.
No help behind him as McMeekin and Huffman gaining some spots under that set of pit stops, as McMeekin with a head of steam as they blow by Randy Bechdel like he stopped right there. Effective race lead going to the 14 as he just blew by Jamie Leach, who was scored as leader at the line.
Yeah, so Matt McMeekin, for the first time tonight, I believe, is your leader, as Jamie Leach almost coming up right into the middle of the pack there, as everybody trying to sort themselves out, as Alex Hoffman, who's won a race already this season in the 25, finding his way up there. I think he's made some kind of strategy call there, because this is the first time we've seen him up this high all race long.
Well, let's see what type of strategy he did call.
Yeah, so
looks like left sides only for your top 15.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, because he made that very late pit stop in the first round. Now he's at the second round, and he's managed to find his way up to second place. As now Bechdel and Barry right behind them again, as we've got a 4-car pack. Then we've got about maybe half a second to a second back to Justin Winters, who's another driver that's made a big gain during that last pit stop as well.
And Winters and Huffman, you know, 2 teammates that know how to work well together. You know, they're kind of got a little bit of separation between them right now, but if those two get hooked up, Katie, bar the door, because they're going to the front.
They're kind of like the same situation as we're seeing with Bechdel and Barry right now, as we're looking at the lead pack right now, and you're seeing back there, that is Jordan Smith back in 14th. He's trying to get a second pack going right there, but he's only got Jason Young and Jeff Chandler right behind him. That's the first time we've spoken about Jeff Chandler here tonight in the Abruzzi number 33 Mustang. That is a very nice looking chrome machine.
Very bright chrome under the lights here, or under the bright sun of Talladega, Alabama. And don't look now, but here comes Winters leading that second lane, and he's got Ogle and the 00 Tucker with him, trying to make that second lane work.
Yeah, Rhett Tucker has led the most laps here tonight, as he is trying desperately to make his way back to the front. He's got Torgerson right behind him. As they come through the tri-oval down towards the line, we're going to be looking at lap 65, as we are very, very, very quickly approaching 3/4 distance here at Talladega. This race going by very quickly here tonight, as now Winters does have the clear out in front. Does he have enough room to come down? He does have enough room to come down. New leader will be Justin Winters, as there goes Barry going very much onto the apron there. Just a bit out of shape going down the backstretch there.
Well, he got shuffled out just a little bit. Saw what was going on. Almost got ran over from behind, it looked like.
Yeah, as he falls back in line, but out of sync right there. Another driver we've not mentioned in quite a while is Jonathan Leach, just holding on to the last spot in the top 10 right there, trying to make a gap for himself through the middle as he's trying to latch on to the back, I believe, of that is Roy Lehmans, who's still amazingly able to keep it up there in that very damaged number 74. Clint Castleberry, we've mentioned him several times tonight, but he's actually managed to finally link up with his teammate right there. Let's see what these two can do now they're right together on track.
Very similar to how we saw, some of these guys running early on, and it didn't end well for Castleberry or Lehmans. So I'm sure Castleberry's looking in his rearview mirror going, "Oh no, not again."
As now Rhett Tucker does have the lead coming across the line. He leads another lap there, getting pushed by his teammate Clint Castleberry as they go in towards turn one. Once again, they are coming up on lap traffic again. Not quite sure who that is. It is not Ryan Jones.
Larry Poling.
Larry Poling again. So Poling going to be lapped once again here in this one, as Rhett Tucker going to lead them down the back stretch here, as now Castleberry and Tucker going to have the clear coming in towards turn 3. Do have the clear. They both come down a very difficult spot to come down the track there, Tony, through the corners. Usually people do it on the straights, but these guys just really driving on the ragged edge right now.
Yeah, and they're trying to get down to that inside lane, because that's really, especially with the lap traffic, you definitely want to be as far down as possible to give yourself an out, so if things do go horribly wrong. Speaking of horribly wrong.
And he gets involved with Larry Poling, spins him around, and that's Roy Lehmans involved once again. And that will bring out only the second caution of the night. Good going from these guys to only have the second caution, but Roy Lehmans really putting an exclamation mark on his race here tonight, hitting that outside wall, being collected by Larry Poling. That was enough to make everybody scramble for dear life. And now Roy Lehmans, yeah, like I said, putting an exclamation point on his race there. He is pretty much done now.
Yeah, you kind of got to blame Rhett Tucker on that one. Is he drove up to give Clint Castleberry a run, and rather than actually choose a lane, he kind of just moved up, and Lehmans had a run, and yeah, no.
Lehman's back up and running, but no front end on that Toyota anymore. It was severely bent in, but now it's non-existent as he's trying to catch the pack as they close up behind the pace car. As there is Rhett Tucker, what was the race leader, now down in P6. Clint Castleberry actually scored as your leader, with Jonathan Leach right behind him in that Red Bull number 48.
I don't think that's Red Bull.
Is it not?
No, he forgot to change his paint scheme back from Sunday night.
Let me just take a look and see. It is red. Oh, it's Chris Bull. Oh, yeah, Chris. Yeah, okay. From Chris Cup. Okay.
Yeah.
Big apologies going out to the Chris Cup guys. Unfortunately, we had a lot of technical problems on Sunday. Was unable to bring you that broadcast, but we will make up for it this Sunday. Obviously, being on the iRacing Live portal, you'll be able to showcase your skills right there this coming Sunday. So they will be back this coming Sunday. Christmas week is going to be a bit of a difficult week for... well, it's not a difficult week. It's going to be a bit of a quiet week, as you'd expect, for everybody involved. As we've had problems here. What's going on there?
Diefler just came into his pit stall at about 1,000 miles an hour and slid through.
Yeah, Diefler not a happy driver right now, especially with regard to the pit stops. He's he's not been able to get those executed very well, as he didn't get a penalty from that, so it should be okay. Well, he's going to get a EOL at least for being really fast into pit road.
Well, if he was speeding in, then he's going to get held in his box.
Yeah, true. We're looking at
apparently he wasn't over speed.
Say again?
He was not over speed.
Oh, okay. So now let's take a look at. Well, let's give a shout out to the sponsors here, because we've not really mentioned them here tonight, and I do apologise to the guys that sponsor us. Tony, just give us the readout for our main sponsor here on the channel, Diecast Nuts, if you have it.
Diecast Nuts is a community-driven forum for all things diecast. You can buy, sell, trade, share, brag about your collection. And with the holidays upon us, it's still not too late to get that special gearhead in your life, something unique. And you can visit the shop area of both diecastnuts.com and their Facebook page, facebook.com/diecastnuts. That's Diecast Nuts with a Z at the end of it. And you can get some of the most unique garage signs I have seen anywhere. And just some beautiful stuff. So if you got a special gearhead in your life, diecastnuts.com. And while you're shopping for that special gearhead in your life, you can also visit our Teespring store, link in the video description below, for all things ESBN related, shirts, face masks, mugs, throw pillows. And for a very limited time, if you're in the continental United States, standard shipping free if you use the promo code ESBN20.
Yeah, and new lines coming soon. Obviously, with the new year around the corner, obviously it's a bit too late to be ordering for Christmas now. So the Christmas lines are finished. So unfortunately, they are gone from the Teespring store. But we will have new lines coming to you very soon for 2021. I do have a couple of ideas in the back of my mind somewhere. I just have to go through all the filing and paperwork. But it's going to be exciting. New lines coming for 2021. And, well, new league sponsored lines coming as well. So remember, we have the Sim Racers Edge line. We will have more for you with regards to the other leagues that we broadcast here on ESPN for Teespring. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you check that out on the website as well, espnofficial.com, where we have all the information on the broadcasting team, all the past streams on here on ESPN, as well as upcoming information on things that are happening in the future for us. So make sure you check out espnofficial.com. That's where you'll find everything about ESPN on there. But right now, lights are off on the pace car. We're on lap 71, and we are almost at three-quarter distance here, Tony. I think it's your turn to get us going again.
Rhett Tucker, who was involved in the initiating the caution that we're currently getting ready to end, inheriting the lead after bringing it pit side to get a little bit of damage repair. He's got Jonathan Leach, who started in 20th. And I mind you, neither of the guys that are in the front row right now laid down qualifying laps. So they've just been steadily climbing their way towards the front as the pace car makes that lazy left turn, drops down onto the apron. Tucker can go anytime that from the time the pace car actually clears the racing surface. There it goes. Green flag is going to come out on the backside of the tri-oval, so it would behoove him to kind of hold back a little bit and not get the giant run as we've seen guys do before, because you're basically a sitting duck by the time you get to the back straightaway if you do that. Green flag is in the air. We are back underway as everybody rolls back into the trigger. And Leach, no help from behind by Randy Bechtel, as, Bechtel's starting to work with him, but not giving him the shove that he's going to need to really make it happen, as Pogo shoving the daylights out of Tucker right now.
Yeah, this is the highest we've seen Pogo all night. Same for Stephen Holmes. That's the first time we've seen him up there tonight in that number 9 cause machine. He did go to the front, albeit temporarily, through the pit stops during the first caution, but under racing, this is the first time we've seen him up there. He's in third place. He's got Randy Bettel, Jonathan Leach, who restarted in second place, falling back for the field very quickly. That is Ryan Jones back up to the top 5, finally getting that redemption he needed from that bad call in the first round of green flag pit stops.
Absolutely, and that's what he needed is a caution to get him back on cycle, get him back on cadence. As Leach just dropping like a stone right now, nobody really wanting to work with him. Ogle not really being given a choice right now, as he's on that outside lane to begin with. Moves to the back of Leach as they start to team up going down the back straightaway, and looks like they got Lehmans with them.
Yeah, and Lehmans...
No, that's Torgerson, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lehmans is still at the back of the field with the front end torn off the car, as Jonathan Leach now going to try and make his way back to the front as well. And you're right, Torgerson is right there, back rear end damage and all, still staying with this lead pack as he has done all race long so far, as Pogo has Leach to his outside. These two have been pretty much together all night long as well, but this is the highest we've seen them both, as now Leach going to get a push from Thomas Ogle as they come towards turn 1. Not enough room right there, Mr. Leach, as he almost tried to come down right to the side of Rhett Tucker right there.
And that's definitely something that will get your attention real quick, especially if you're able to see it happen. Does have the gap there, but kind of holding court right now with Ogle, as they are quickly approaching the very, very damaged, that we talked about him before. That is Roy Lehmans, that they are coming up on like a freight train.
Yeah, as there is Lehmans on that higher side, deciding to get out of the way, and rightly so. He's got a very damaged car and does not want any part of this now. He just wants to get to the end of the race, and I kind of don't really blame him. He's been through the wars here. He's been involved in both cautions here tonight, obviously being the cause of the second one as they make their way through 3 and 4. Stephen Holmes still holding strong in P5 right there, just holding on to the bottom line. He's got Torgerson to his outside. He's got Bechdel right behind him, Ryan Jones right there as well, as these guys just trying to figure things out now as we are going through 3 and 4, heading towards the line, and we will officially only have 25 laps to go, 3/4 distance here, Tony.
As Leach was being scored as the leader the last time across by 4 1/1000ths of a second, was getting just enough push from Ogle to make that happen. And now, mind you, folks, we have not seen the money stop yet. They definitely cannot make it from here with only a 70% fuel fill. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out as we move towards the point where you can make it from here. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Well, I just noticed that you can go about, 30 laps? No, you can't go to 30 laps because they made a pit stop under the first caution. So they can go about, 20 laps? So they will be about 5 laps short.
Right.
When it comes round to it. So they will have to make a splash and go before this is over. So we were expecting no tyre stops here, just fuel. As we've got people coming down already. There we go. People playing the strategy game as pit stops are happening straight away here, Tony. This is a very big strategy call by the 4 drivers that have just come down right now.
Yeah, those guys are ducking towards pit road to try to, I dare say undercut, but it's not really an undercut. It's basically, you can pit for a splash and go, pack the tank full of fuel from here and just about make it. And when everybody else is going to have to peel on off if we stay green, you're going to still be at cruising altitude, and they're going to have to be slowing down and then speeding back up later. So you get that out of the way, you give yourself a chance.
Yeah, and the only outlier from that one was Eric Holly, who's still 2 laps down here. He's just making a pit stop with the other drivers that are with him. Nobody else peeling off towards pit road as things stand right now, as Rhett Tucker will lead them across the line and lead another lap here at Talladega, being pushed by Thomas Ogle right now. Torgerson right there. Jason Young back up there again. He's been back and forth all night long, as Aaron Diefler back in the top 10 as well, I've noticed.
Working with his teammate Chase Berry is they've got the 29 of Randy Bechtel inside of them. So those three cars not running nose to tail like we've seen them do, but all three of them still in the top 10 solidly right now.
I've just noticed on the side of Chase Barry's car, he's got Christmas lights on the side of his car. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
I mean, it is a festive season, so why not? As we got side-by-side action here. Thomas Ogle looking to lead his first lap here tonight at Talladega. He might just have it by a nose here as they come across the line. Give that lap to Thomas Ogle as they cross the line. So that's the first time we've seen him actually push to the front here tonight. And you kind of got to make those kind of moves at this stage of the race. There are only 22 laps to go. The runs become very important in this part of the race, and I'm guessing that's what Torgerson's been waiting for, because this is the furthest we've seen him up all night long.
Well, he was running up in the front at the beginning of the race, but he did have to drop back after getting caught up in that first melee, and he's been fighting the damage that's on the rear of that car all night long. So, the fact that he's in the top 5 right now is nothing short of miraculous.
Yeah, Diefler up to the top 5 as well. Winner last time out at Darlington, so no surprise he's up there too. As he's got Jonathan Leach to his inside, as Tucker going to lose another lap there to Thomas Ogle. As they come through 1 and 2 for, I believe, the 80th time tonight. So yeah, it's been a you know what, as races go at Talladega, this one has gone very, very quickly here tonight, and that's no doubt in part due to the fact that they've had 2 very long green flag runs here, and aiming to finish this one under green. But with it being Talladega, and this is no slight towards the drivers, this is a whole Talladega thing. There is absolutely no guarantees that this is going to finish under green here tonight.
Well, you can get your hate mail coming now, folks, at Sam Cooper Bennett, ESPN Towers, Cork, Ireland, P.O. Box OICU 812.
Yeah, it's the first time I've had that in about 2 months, so yeah, very rare these days. As we have Larry Poling coming out of pit road right there. He was another man that was involved in that second caution there, just pretty much having a finish him moment when Roy Lehman's went around. As we got.
Unfortunately, though, fortunately, not letting Kevin LePage be his spirit guide on this trip.
Well, with the way the iRacing rules are, you can't really be Kevin LePage, because obviously that blue cone came in a couple of years ago and they can't do it anymore. So
you can still do it. It's a protestable offense now, and if your race is over anyways. I believe I've already shared with you the video of No More F's to Give.
Yeah, I've seen it. I still listen to that song today. So, Anyway, let's come on to turn 2. We're on we've got 19 laps to go here, as everybody just running their lines right now, just doing what they need to do. Another driver trying to push his way forward is the 2 of Jared Hagedorn. He went a lap down earlier on, obviously got the lucky dog through that last caution, already pushed his way up to P10 right now, so watch out for that number 2. He's got some speed in that Mustang right now.
And don't look now, but the points leader is right in his rearview mirror.
Yep, Ryan Jones.
No, Evan Pienta.
Oh yeah, Pienta. Okay. See, I don't know this series. Frank gave me some pointers before the broadcast this night and was like, yeah.
That explains why you're so messed up.
Yeah. Anyway, Ogle and Torgerson leading the way as they come out of turn 2 here. 18 laps to go here at Talladega. Jason Young just getting a bit out of shape there down the backstretch right in front of Hagedorn. As Bechtel falling back there to P10 right now. Not really showing the pace that he had earlier on in the race, but being stuck in that pack is kind of understandable as they put another lap on Roy Lehman's right there.
It's one of those deals where if this was a real-world event, with Lehman's being over 30 miles an hour off the pace, he would have been black flagged about 10 laps ago.
Yeah, being was it dangerous driving or just a slow car?
Unable to maintain a safe pace.
Yeah.
And everybody's starting to get single file up towards the front. I'm thinking that everybody's thinking what I was thinking, and it's getting time to do that splash and dash.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing as well. As we've got one at the top there. Jordan Smith is the only driver that's stuck on that outside line, but as they come through 3 and 4, let's see if anybody peels off towards pit road right now. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 off on pit road. There goes Pogo as well. Not Pogo. Pogo's still out on track, but that is actually Diefler, and it's all the Dryden team coming down with Ryan Jones, and I believe that is McMeekin down there with them as well. So whole style pit stops. We've got Tommy Cannon in pit road as well, and Diefler actually gets it right this time.
And it's because it's money stop time.
Yeah,
you know, this is the stop that really matters, and you know when it's time to go, it's Diefler's on.
Yeah, as we've got more pit stops about to come around right now. Troy Torgerson will be the next one to come down, I believe, as they come out of turn 4, and they're exactly right. Lots of people coming down to pit road once again. And is Torgerson going to lead them down? Torgerson crosses the line. That's going to be a penalty for the number 98 unsafe pit entry right there. I hope it's not the case, but he did cross that yellow line there, Tony.
He didn't hit the cone, so that's a good thing. As he gets to his box, let's see what happens.
As he's in his pit stall right now, and we're going to stay with...
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been...
They're banging him.
Yeah. So, big upset there for Torgerson. Had such a good run, and now it's all going to come to an end competitively for him at the final pit stop of the night, as Jason Young now is going to bring it down with Pienta, Hagedorn, Jordan Smith, Jamie Leach going to come down with him as well. That's your final lot of pit stops right now. And Stephen Holmes, Jeff Pogo, and Chris Brown up there as well. These guys are actually going to take over the lead right now as they pit early in the run. Now, obviously, tyres are not really that important around here, but these guys might have made a pretty clever strategy call right here with making that really early pit stop.
It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. They're being scored as fifth on back at the line, as they just blew by Pienta.
And they're just taking over the overall race lead. That's
yeah.
Stephen Holmes, Jeff Pogo, Chris Brown, obviously Eric Holly is in the mix as well, as Jeff Chandler in that number 33 Brutzi machine. Jeff Winter, that's another driver we're not really mentioning here tonight in the Haviline number 30. He's up there in P5 as well. He was another driver that made that very early pit stop. But Chase Barry now leading those drivers that have just made their pit stops and closing in pretty quickly. They're about 2 seconds off the lead right now.
They're about 2 seconds off the lead, but the thing is, do they have enough time to make anything happen, as we are 13 laps to go?
That we are, as I'm gonna make the assumption that they all only took fuel, no tires. So as much as I just said, tires aren't really a factor here. There might be when it comes to trying to close down a gap here. And Chase Barry, he's got about 4 drivers behind him. That is McMeekin, Ogle, Leach, and Bechdel right there. It might be a tough ask here, but we're going to try and see if they can do it, as we've had more problems. Zach Calloway going a lap down right there. He's had problems in pit road too.
Popped for speeding in.
So that's unfortunate for Calloway as they come to complete another lap here. 12 laps to go. They're coming up on, I believe that is Dale Eland. Put another lap on him as they come out of turn 2. 12 laps to go. This is where the strategy game comes in. Look at Chase Barry right now putting a move on Jeff Winter right now, and they are desperate to make that move, and that is actually Torgerson they've put a lap on now. Big heartbreak for the man in the 98. He was not expected to be that far back after that last pit stop, but again, he made that mistake, put those two wheels over that yellow line, and that's he's really paying the price for it now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you hate to see it for anyone, but especially, you know, a guy that has battled through the perseverance, or you know, the hardship of getting caught up in that first melee and able to maintain at the front of the field. You're 3 wide for the lead.
Yeah, and Chase Barry did catch up, and we were wondering if he would, and he did. As it looks like Chandler's going to drop out of contention right there, as we're going to go back to Chase Barry. Big run on the outside there, being pushed by McMeekin. Can he make it stick? He slots in front of Pogo. As they come through 3 and 4, is he going to go down one lane further? You bet your bottom dollar he will, as he goes back in front of Stephen Holmes right there, as he will take over the lead. Pogo going to get a push though from Chris Brown as they come down towards the line, but it's going to give that lap to Chase Barry as he finally gets a lap led here tonight.
Absolutely. As you know, you were mentioning the Christmas lights on Barry's car. Did you notice what's on the 23?
I did not.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got wrapping paper on his car. Is it wrapping paper?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's wrapping paper. So
everybody's in the festive spirit here tonight. It's great.
A humbug.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were going to say that. Anyway, it's to come through 3 and 4. It's going to be Chase Barry leading this pack down. Jeff Pogo trying to get his way back to the front again as he's being pushed by Chris Brown, as I've already mentioned. Thomas Ogle behind them as well as Randy Bechdel. He's in front of Ogle now, actually. I just noticed. There's Jonathan Leach is up there as well. As even though he's a couple of laps down, Eric Holly still showing what could have been here tonight. He's really, really staying with this lead pack now in that number 8 Budweiser machine.
Holly had a lot of speed the last time we were at a restrictor plate track, so not a real surprise there. Just got caught out, a bad break, and you know, unfortunately, as we're coming up on 8 to go this coming time across the stripe, you know, he's not contending for the win, but showing that it could have.
Yeah, so we're going to go to Rhett Tucker here. He's trying to give Thomas Ogle a big push there on that high side. And we're wondering where Rhett Tucker went. He actually fell back through the field midway through that run before the last green flag pit stop. And now he has decided now is the time to try and push his way back to that lead, as he's going to get a big push now from Thomas Ogle. He managed to do the overlap on him out of turn 2 as Ogle has a bit of a blink there. He's now on the outside of McMeekin, as Pogo has a nose out in front of here through the corner, but give that advantage to Chase Barry as they come through 3 and 4. He's going to have the lead coming out of the corner, but it's going to be close coming to this one. We're coming to 7 laps to go here, Tony. This is where the gloves completely come off now.
Absolutely. You know, no quarter asked for, no quarter given with 7 to go. You know, this is put him up on the dash and let's see what we got. As Pogo with the nose out front coming to the stripe, but Chase Barry with the short way around right now, and Pogo's got a little bit too much of a gap between himself and Chris Brown. Brown trying to get up there to help Pogo out, as trying to get a shove down the back straightaway. They got a 4-car gaggle going on in that middle lane. Normally it's the sucker hole, but this being a video game, that middle lane's actually working.
And Rhett Tucker doesn't really have any help on that high line as well, as they're coming up on Larry Poling again. Poling on that high line might impede Tucker a little bit right there, but Tucker able to negotiate his way around the number 69 right now as they come through the tri-oval. 6 laps to go here, and Jeff Pogo gonna have the lead again as they cross the stripe. It's coming down to it now, as voices are going to get raised, people are going to get excited, and tempers are going to flare here, as Talladega always seems to do. As Rhett Tucker still trying to force that outside line, just not having any luck in that 0-0.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't have any help up there right now, as he was the only one to really get by Larry Poling easily. You know, the rest of the guys that he was working with have fallen back.
Yeah. As Pogo again Getting a nose out in front as they come down towards the line. 5 laps to go now. Now this is the part where we see the aggressive moves come out. Usually. Now I've not broadcasted this league before. This is new to me, so I don't know how aggressively these guys run. But yeah, Talladega kind of brings it out of people sometimes.
Think Black Friday fist fight over a flat screen TV.
Or if you're from the 90s, a hi-fi. Anyway.
No, surround sound.
Oh, yeah. Surround sound. Dolby surround sound. My God, that's going back a bit. Anyway, as they come out of turn 4, 4 laps to go, it's still Pogo with the nose out in front. Chase Barry now still has Stephen Holmes. Holmes not really giving Barry that push he needs to get that nose out in front, as Pogo leads it by 2/1000th of a second. That is very close between those two.
Absolutely, as Rhett Tucker still trying to keep that RTR 00 with a 99 on the door wound up. And here comes a name we haven't spoken about most of the night. That's Luke LaFaro in the 20 making his presence felt. Yeah,
and that's in the DC Solar number 20. Obviously paying tribute to one Mr. Matt Kenseth. I think he's run the DC Solar before. I could be wrong. Anyway, no, actually, DC Solar's Gaddafi scheme. Never mind. Anyway, yeah, Luke LaFaro, not seen him at all tonight. Had a very quiet race. Now decided to push his way forward. We're going to be 3 laps to go here. Can he keep that push going? As he's another one that's timed his runs very well. We've got a lot of drivers struggling back there. Aaron Diefler falling back to P10 there. He's trying to push McMeekin right there. Jamie Leach has fallen out of it. Alex Huffman, who was up there for a good while, is back there. Clint Castleberry, massive fall through the pack here. He's well off the pace now, right behind Jason Young. He is down in P19 right now. Clint Castleberry really, really going off the boil right now. As we've got one in pit road here. Jonathan Leach has had problems here.
Yeah, he got shuffled out, and I think he hand grenaded the engine.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
So Leach, big problems here as we go back to the lead pack right now. We're going to be 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks in the air. They're coming up on lap traffic. Chase Barry finally getting that push. He needs to get the nose out in front, but he's coming up on Jeff Chandler, and I believe that is Jeff Winter as well. They're coming up on as well. Will they play a factor in this final part of the race as they come out of turn 2? They both get out of the way, so good heads-up driving by those 2 drivers as the lead pack come flying by. Jeff Pogo with about half a car in front as they come down towards turn 3. Almost 1 lap to go. White flag in the air as they come now out of turn 4 down towards the stripe here, Tony.
And now it makes sense of what Steve Holmes was doing. He was hanging back to make sure that he could push the living daylights out of Chase Barry in the closing laps as the white flag is in the air. One more time around, 2.6 miles to go. And dead heat for Pogo and Barry at the stripe that time, as we're going to try to get this one settled under green, as they're starting to get real chippy behind them. The race is really on for third.
Absolutely, as we've got one dropping back out there. That would be Tommy Cannon, I believe it was, as they come down towards turn 3. Now Jeff Pogo going to have the nose out in front as they come through turn 4. It's going to be a very, very close end to this race. Diefler has got onto the back of Red Tucker. Watch that outside line as they come out of turn 4. Down towards the line. Big wreck in the background, but it's going to be a race down towards the line. Jeff Pogo with the nose out in front. Can Barry do anything about it? Tucker going to be on the outside line. Big wreck behind them. And now it's going to be Jeff Pogo that gets it at the line. Big race win there for the number 4, but it was all started with that big wreck going through 3 and 4 that really shuffled the pack up and gave Pogo that advantage. Tucker tried it at the end, but was not close enough, and it was Chris Brown that stole it at the line, 3rd place. Unfortunately for Chase Barry, falling back to P6 there. Very, very going to be very disappointed with that end.
I'm not even sure what I just watched. Holy Christmas.
But at the end of the day, it was always going to be a tumultuous end to the race, and it was this man that comes home with the victory here tonight at Talladega. And very well deserved for Jeff Pogo, the league owner, actually. So good to see him coming up with the winner. He came up short last time out at Darlington, finally getting his name on the top of the podium, and very much well deserved. As we're going to hear from him in just a second. Just going to get the rest of the drivers into the waiting room right here as looking for him. As what we're doing,
Tucker's not in here.
Yeah, he's not in here, unfortunately.
I'll get the guys. You just do your thing.
Okay, as we're gonna bring up the race. Actually, I can't drag him up. I don't have the power to do so. Actually,
I got him.
Okay, as we're gonna bring up the race winner right now, Jeff Pogo. Came up short of Darlington. Really put it on the table here tonight. Big wreck in the last lap, but you came home the winner here tonight. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so talk about your race there. I mean, you were sitting back in the mid-pack for the most part and really timed your run really well to make that push towards the front there. Just talk about that end to the race there. Really lighting up the time and scoring at the end there.
Yeah, just so much strategy. We worked all race long trying to figure out what we were going to do. Tried to keep the car clean, stay out of trouble, and make our move at the right time. We pit when we did, hoping we take less fuel, be out front, and it worked out.
Yeah, let's talk about that strategy call. Literally about 4 or 5 laps into that final run there after the second caution. Was that the strategy call all along? If you get a late caution, were you going to try and make that pit stop early and try and make it work?
All along, it was going to be we're going to pit as soon as we can when the window opens. Give ourselves 2 laps or so for the front car with fuel. But yeah, pretty much all along, it was pit as early as we could to get to the end.
Yeah, and that you did. You got the victory here tonight. Very well deserved, and got to be a bit of redemption here for yourself here this week, Jeff, especially after coming up short last time out at Darlington. Got to give you a lot of confidence going forward.
Yeah, it does. I'll be honest. The beginning of the season started off real rocky for me. Wouldn't have good luck at all. Now I'm starting to turn it around, I guess.
And that you did, as we are moving on forward. And next time out on the first race of the year on the 7th of January, it says Daytona Road, and I'm guessing that's the same thing going into the next year.
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts going into that one? First road course of the season. How are you on the? How are you turning right instead of turning left?
I'm actually pretty decent at it. Looking pretty forward to it. So, we run a lot of endurance races. A few of the guys in here. So left-hand, right turns work out good for me. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting as we head into the new year. And that's another dynamic as well. Ending the year as the last race winner of 2020. That's something to be proud of, right?
It is, but I can't take credit for winning. I got Brown, Steve Holmes, Eric Holly, and Dan Dill was kind of the crew chief for this one once he blew his motor early on in the race. So he was helping make the shots, but couldn't have done it without Chris or Steve and Eric, even though he was lapped down. It was a team effort for sure.
Yeah, and I was about to ask you if there's anybody else you'd like to thank, but I'll ask you anyway. Is anyone else you want to give a shout out to, say thanks to before we let you go and celebrate?
Always got to thank my wife for letting me do this.
All right, well, Jeff Pogo coming home with a victory here tonight at Talladega. Congratulations one more time, and we will catch you in the new year when we head to the road course at Daytona.
Sounds good.
So that was the race winner, Jeff Pogo. Now joining Tony is the man that finished in second place. Well, in third place. Third place, as unfortunately Rhett Tucker is not in Discord. Tony, I believe you got Chris Brown with you right now.
Chris Brown didn't see a lot of you up towards the front all night long, but when it counted, you were within striking distance.
Working with those guys was pretty awesome. I wanted to stay around the back the whole night to stay out of trouble, and then at the end there, I get myself into trouble. So, but good run, fun race.
Well, I mean, it's kind of to be expected, coming to the checkered flag at Talladega, where the finish line is at this place. You got one final crack coming through the tri-oval. It wouldn't be Talladega if there wasn't fireworks coming to the checkers.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of my favorite tracks to race at, just because it's kind of an even playing field for everybody. And it's awesome to have guys to work with like Jeff and Eric and Steve and Dan.
Absolutely. Now, we are going to take a couple of weeks off for the holiday and the new year. But first race in the new year, on the 7th, we go to the road course at Daytona. Your thoughts having to throw these monster 3,700-pound stock cars to the right and left for the first race of the new year?
Yeah, that'll be interesting for me. I'm not very good at doing the road racing stuff, so I'm going to have to get some practice laps in over the break here, and hopefully I'll be able to come in there and do a decent job and get a decent finish.
Well, that's all you can really hope for at a road course. But Chris, we're going to let you get back down and celebrate with the rest of the team. Congratulations on Gateway Motorsports getting two cars into the top 3. Is there anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks to ESPN for putting on this broadcast, USRA putting this league on, and my wife for letting me race.
If Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
That is true.
Tell her I said happy holidays, and happy holidays to your entire family, sir. Congratulations on the podium.
Sure will do. Thanks.
So
go ahead.
No, carry on. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that was our third place finisher, Chris Brown. Rhett Tucker has already gone to the motor coach lot, not happy with the finish of this race, and he did not get the help he needed on that third lane coming to the checkers.
Yeah, and he tried that all the time during that last part of the race, and he made that run work at the end, just not quite close enough, missing out by 8/1000ths of a second to Jeff Pogo. But what about Pogo using that strategy call at the literally just a couple of laps in after that last the second caution, really throwing out the strategy call right there and really paid off for himself, especially with Chase Barry really trying to get that away from him, but Pogo just able to stick it out there and just stay out in front and get that win away from everybody else behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was one of those deals where you saw it happen when Brown, Holmes, and Pogo all came down pit side right after the restart of the final restart of the race. You kind of had an inkling of a feeling that they knew what they were doing. It was a pure strategy call, and it worked out for them. And like we heard Jeff say, they were lighter on fuel, which means that the cars were lighter. They freed up a little bit of horsepower by doing that, whereas everybody else had probably a good 10 gallons more, or at least 10 laps more of fuel. Which with leaded racing fuel like these guys run, you're talking 4.5 pounds a gallon.
Yeah.
So I mean that adds up. It doesn't seem like much, but I mean you're talking almost 50 pounds of ballast that the guys like Rhett Tucker and the guys like Chase Berry and Luke Lafaro had that Pogo and Brown and Holmes didn't have to contend with. And they were able to hang on, to put 3 cars in the top 5.
Yeah, and it was a great result for them. And Luke Lafaro coming out of nowhere, getting a top 5 there in P5. Probably biggest disappointment there was Chase Barry. He was in second place for the longest time, just really trying to get that lead away from Jeff Pogo. Unfortunately, having to settle for P6 at the end, really got put out of shape there at the end. So luckily, wasn't caught up in that wreck at the end. A lot of drivers involved. I believe it was Diefler was involved, Meekin was involved, Ogle involved as well. So a lot of drivers going to be disappointed out of this one. But the happiest man out of this one will be Jeff Pogo, as we're going to go to the results of tonight's race and coming home with the victory. here tonight was Mr. Jeff Pogo, as he finally gets that chip off his shoulder and gets the win after coming up short last week. Coming up in second place was Rhett Tucker. Third going to Chris Brown. Fourth going to Stephen Holmes after giving Pogo that push to trying to push Chase Barry to the line, but didn't quite work out for him. Chase Barry himself coming home in P5, actually. Luke LaFaro in P6 is coming up wrong, I think.
Oh, that's right.
In P7 was Randy Bechtel. 8th was Alex Huffman in the end, in the top 10 after all that. Tommy Cannon in P9. Evan Pienta, P10. Jordan Smith in P11. 12th going to Jamie Lynch. 13th going to Justin Winters. 14th going to Thomas Ogle. And 15th going to Matt McMeekin, Tony.
Aaron Diefler hanging on for 16th. Jason Young for 17th. Clint Castleberry coming home in 18th. 19th, last car on the lead lap goes to the 91 of Ryan Jones. First car one lap down is the Deuce of Jared Hagedorn. Zach Calloway in 21st. 22nd, we see Jeff Winters. Troy Torgerson in 23rd. 24th goes to Jeff Chandler. Eric Holly hanging on for 25th. Dale Elan Jr., after having a throughput early on, was able to rebound to 26th. Jonathan Leach, after hand grenading an engine, goes 4 laps down, coming home in 27th. Larry Poling in 28th. 29th goes to Roy Lehmans. And Daniel Dill, the last car to start the race, was in 30th. And Justin Wilson was race control tonight.
So that is going to do it for us here on ESPN. A great race for everyone to see here tonight, and a great performance by everybody from USRA. Looking ahead on the schedule, tomorrow night we are back on your screens with the iRacing E Series as they finish up their season, and we will crown a new champion tomorrow night with the Super Speedway Series. Looking ahead on Saturday, we have the E Formula Series making its return as we head to the Far East and the Land of the Rising Sun as they head to Suzuka for the next round of the Formula 3.5 season. And then Sunday, we are back with Chris Cup. Well, that is going to do it for us, for myself and for Tony Trapasso here tonight. Great racing all around tonight, and good to be back in the booth after so long now. Obviously, I'll be in the booth on Saturday, but in a producer's role, as we have Jake Sperry and Frank Marchese calling that one on Saturday. But good all round, and good racing, and all good fun to be had. But from myself, Sam Bennett, and from my broadcast partner, Mr. Tony Trapasso, all that's left for me to say for the first time in such a long time: keep it clean, keep it green, and we will catch you tomorrow night live as we crown a champion with the iRacing E Series. Have a good night.